Whether you're a first-time or an experienced home buyer, it's important to understand the importance of earnest money in your home purchase. I'm Jason Skinrood, Mortgage Loan Officer, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the important details of earnest money. Now, before we begin, let's actually define what earnest money is. So earnest money is a good faith deposit that you provide to the seller as part of your sales contract in agreeing to purchase their property. One of the things with earnest money is that the more you offer, it can actually set you apart from competing offers, and the seller may be more inclined to actually accept your offer over someone else who's offering less earnest money. Typically, I tell my clients to plan on between 1% and 2% of the sales price. However, that really just depends on what's acceptable in your local market and, of course, how much is agreed upon between you and the seller as part of that contract offer. I have seen it as low as $500 in some markets and as high as $10,000 for a more expensive home. Again, it just depends on what your local market is doing, but you will agree upon that amount with the seller when you make your offer and they accept it. There is several different ways that you can pay your earnest money. That earnest money is typically and most commonly paid by personal check. However, you can utilize a wire transfer, a cashier's check, or even a money order. And then once the offer has been accepted and you pay that money is either held in a trust account by a settlement service provider like a title company or a title attorney, or it may even be held in a trust account by the real estate brokerage that you're going through. One of the big things I always like to stress with my clients is making sure that they understand how they can protect their earnest money. There are a few ways that you can do that, but the biggest thing is that you want to make sure that you meet the deadlines inside of your contract. So inside of your contract, there'll be deadlines for your due diligence to have things like your home inspection done or any other inspections. If it's like a pest or well or a septic tank inspection. You will have the appraisal deadline. You'll have your financing deadline, the date in which you need to have your loan approved by or denied. And then also you'll have, of course, your closing deadline when you actually need to go to the table and sign to purchase the new home. There are a few ways or circumstances in which you could be refunded your earnest money. The first, of course, is your due diligence period. So you need to make sure that you get your home inspections, any other inspections done within that time frame. Your appraisal, the home needs to appraise for the agreed upon price. And if the home does not appraise for that, then you're actually able to go ahead and back out of it and receive a refund of your earnest money. For borrowers who are utilizing an FHA or a VA loan, FHA and VA actually require a separate clause that be signed by the seller where the seller has to agree to allow you to back out of the home regardless of the dates, that if the home doesn't appraise for the agreed upon sales price and you're not able to agree upon a new sales price, then you as the borrower are actually allowed to go ahead and back out with a full refund on your earnest money. For your financing deadline refund, you just need to make sure that you can qualify and that you're not denied financing by that date. And then, of course, with your closing, you want to make sure that you close on time. So working with a loan officer that's able to juggle all those dates and all of those different simultaneous inspections and appraisal and everything else that go on at the same time, it's really important that you work with a loan officer that's organized and is able to help maintain and make sure that you hit that deadline and that you don't put your earnest money at risk. Now, once your offer has been accepted and you're going through the loan process with your loan officer, you are going to need to provide some documentation to your loan officer for their earnest money. And the first item is that it needs to be the payment method that you use. So if you used a personal check, you would need a copy of the canceled check, wire transfer, or a copy of the cashier or money order. You will need to make sure that you provide that to your loan officer along with 60 days worth of bank statements. Now that 60 days worth of bank statements needs to cover transactions that include the withdrawal of your earnest money, whether that again is through a personal check, wire transfer, or you paid through some other means. So make sure that you have that available and that you're ready to provide that, because your loan officer will need that in order to submit to underwriting as part of the loan process. So a couple things, just some scenarios too that help you understand what happens to your earnest money. Now, if you back out because the home doesn't meet your specifications due to the home inspection or the appraisal or anything like that, you are able to back out as long as you meet those deadlines and get a full refund. If you breach your contract where the home inspection or the appraisal isn't done by the deadline, then the seller can technically keep all of your money if you try to back out from one of those reasons. And then at closing, what happens with your earnest money is that it's either credited towards your closing costs or your down payment that you would need to bring in for funds to close. Now, if in the case that you were able to negotiate with the seller to pay all of your closing costs and you didn't have to bring in any money or anything like that because it's some sort of a no down payment loan, then you actually can get your money refunded back to you at closing, but the maximum amount of money that you can get back at closing is the amount that you paid in earnest money. So if you have other questions about earnest money, then be sure to ask them in the comments section below, and be sure to check out my other videos. And if you need help with your home purchase, my contact information is below, and thanks for watching.